Hello friends, and welcome to another chat video where I answer questions from our viewers. Today's video I'm going to focus on my health journey and my weight loss over the last year, because when I asked our viewers for questions they had about our life, this was one of the most common questions that came up in many different forms. So I decided that is the topic we will cover today. And yes, it is late at night. I'm filming upstairs. Hopefully the sound is okay in here. I figured I could either film a video while my family's sleeping, or I could scroll and watch a movie. This would probably be a better use of my time because I wasn't gonna go to sleep yet anyways. I've got 2 teenage boys, and between bike parts, snowboarding gear, and food runs, spending is as active as they are. That's where today's sponsor, Cash App, comes to the rescue. This is our Cash App card. As a mom, it gives me peace of mind because every time they swipe, I get a real-time alert. Grocery store sushi? Yum! I love how easy it is to add money to my kids' Cash App accounts when they do extra chores. No more asking mom for 20 bucks when they go out with friends. Instead, their money is all ready for them on their Cash App card. And everyone gets to design their own card. You can keep it simple or go wild with your personality. Cash App and the Cash App card makes teen money management easy. No hidden fees and no stress, and I love that we can keep track of it along with the kids to help them make good financial decisions. Download the Cash App using the link down in the description below or this QR code here on the screen. For a limited time, new Cash App users can earn $10. Simply download the Cash App and use the code CASH10 in your sign-up profile. All you have to do is send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you will earn $10 in your account. Start them young and start them smart with the Cash App card. So let's jump into it. If you're new here, my name is Lauren. I'm a mom of 6 living in Alaska. We are a hunting and fishing and adventure family, but I also love Costco and just being at home. So our videos are a mix of all of those things. When it comes to my health journey, I have always been a very active person, but I've also been overweight most of my adult life. Back in 2019 to 2020, I had lost quite a bit of weight on a very strict diet where like you bought pre-packaged food. I felt like crap most of the time, but it did help me to lose weight. But the minute that I started eating regular food again, I put back on all the weight plus some. My kids range in age from 15 down to 1 year old. I've got 4 boys that are older, 15, 13, 11, and 8. And then baby girl is about 20 months old. I did mention that I have 6 children. Baby girl is a twin, but unfortunately we lost her sister during pregnancy, so she was born as a stillborn. And then baby Violet was born at between 30 and 31 weeks. So very early, NICU baby. I started that pregnancy around 210 pounds. I probably ended the pregnancy around 240 pounds. And as you can imagine, NICU baby, bringing home a baby in the middle of the winter, having 4 children in school, and taking care of a high-risk newborn. My weight pretty much stayed where it was when I gave birth to Violet for a very long time. I breastfed her, pumped, fed her bottles, dealt with the grief of losing her sister, and didn't really give much attention to my health. After she was born, we were just going through the motions of keeping our family happy and healthy, and I felt pretty good. But I knew that I needed to address my weight. So when she was about 8 months old, our breastfeeding journey ended, and I decided that would be a good time to focus on my health and my own health journey. And so in August of last year, I went to the doctor. I had all my blood work done like I've been doing for the last few years, and we discussed figuring out how I could lose weight. So with the advice from my doctor, I decided to go on Zepbound, which is a GLP-1 medication. It is also called tirzepatide, I believe. And I started out on a 2.5 milligram dose. Just comes in a little needle pen thing that you can give yourself each time. I just want to be open and honest right from the start. That is a big part of my weight loss journey, is using the medication. It is not the only part, and weight loss is so personal. You really need to consult a doctor. You need to figure out what is going on with your body. But I'm grateful that I talked to my doctor and we came up with a plan. So I started out on 2.5 milligrams. I did some research before starting on the medication and decided that I did not want to dose up the way that the medication is typically given. I wanted to give my body time to adjust to being on the medication and see how I reacted to it. And also make sure that I was changing my eating habits and working my way into exercising more so that this would be a well-rounded experience of losing weight. I was a fast reactor to the medicine, meaning I started seeing weight loss right away. 2.5 milligrams is just like a starter dose. It's not even really a weight loss dose. But like I said, I wanted to be on it for a while. I didn't want to dose up after 1 month like they sometimes allow you to do. I decided I was going to stay on that dose until I felt like it wasn't really making as much of a difference. That ended up being 3 to 4 months. I can't remember exactly when I dosed up, but I was really listening to my body and not trying to dose up quickly. So it was about 3 to 4 months, dosed up to 5 milligrams, and then I waited another 4 months before I dosed up to 7.5 milligrams, and that is what I have been on for the entire year, and I was able to lose 90 pounds, which just blows my mind. So I started at 238.6 and now I am sitting around 248. I have bounced down to about 245 in the month since hitting my year mark. So I'm kind of on my way to around 95 pounds of weight loss. None of it happened super quick. It was just like little incremental things. I do weigh myself every day. At first I kept track of it. I had kept a food log and I kept track of my weight every day. I did that probably for the first 3 months and then I realized I didn't really need to do that anymore. That was a habit that I had from when I was losing weight before getting pregnant that had helped me keep track of my food and make sure I was getting enough water and protein and things like that. But I found after about 3 or 4 months, I can't remember the exact dates, but I didn't really need to keep track so closely. I just had a better feeling of what I was eating and was just way more conscious of it. So that would be one of my number one recommendations if you do decide to go on a GLP-1, is to slowly go up with the medicine. Don't feel like you need to go like all the way up to the biggest dose quickly. I think it's good to let your body get used to it and let it do its thing for long periods of time. Now, there were periods of time where I would not lose any weight for a couple of weeks, and then I would adjust my eating, and then all of a sudden I would start to see weight loss again. So I wasn't even quick to dose up, even if I wasn't seeing weight loss. I just knew that I was in control of this, that I needed to use the benefits of the medicine, which I'll talk about in a second, and continue to make changes in my life instead of letting this medicine be a magic pill, because I really believe it's not a magic pill, but it is an amazing tool to lose weight. It's a tool. It's a tool in your toolbox of many other things, but it feels like an amazing tool in my experience. When it comes to side effects of the medication, I have had very few side effects. There have been a few times where I have just really overeaten and then I have felt sick the next day, but that only happens if I like I said, eat something really greasy or overeat, which, to be honest, before I was on my health journey, I felt sick a lot of the time. I had stomach issues a lot of the time. So I have them way, 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 way less now that I'm on the medication than I did before I was on the medication. And it was probably because of the junk that I was eating. I thankfully didn't get nausea. I'm trying to think if I had any other symptoms. Not any that I can think of. I just changed my life for the better. This is my personal journey, so I can only speak for myself, but being on this GLP-1 medication really changed my life because mostly it helped my brain. It helps me focus more. It helps me make better food decisions because it slows things down. It slows down the food noise. I'm not thinking about food. I eat a lot of food, but I'm not thinking about it between eating food. Whereas before I used food as a coping mechanism, now I have had to find other outlets for that because it doesn't feel good to overeat. So I just have to find other ways to deal with maybe those feelings of anxiousness or boredom and things like that. Whereas I used to use food, and I used to use a lot of food. I didn't really think that I ate poorly, but I know that I overate certain things like sweets and cookies, bread and things like that. I would definitely overeat those things. I still eat a lot of things. I try to have a what can I add to my diet mentality instead of what do I need to take away. Because of my history with like diet and weight loss and restrictive eating never working for me once I start eating normally again, this has been a good solution for me. So what can I add? What protein can I add? What vegetables can I add to fill myself up? And then I still can have the dessert. But what I have found is that while I'm on the medication, 1 or 2 bites of the dessert is really, really satisfying to me. And then I can move on with my day and really not think about the dessert again. Whereas before I would eat the entire dessert and probably get seconds and then end up feeling sick later. So that's the difference. It just helps your mind like enjoy that moment and then move on. And if I'm not hungry for something, like if I've already filled up with dinner, I don't really have a problem saying no to the dessert if it just doesn't even sound good to me, like the kids' candy or like a donut that's like been sitting on the counter all day. That is no longer really tempting to me because I have filled up on good, nutritious food. But if we've made a yummy dessert, I still have some. If Bennett bakes bread, I still make sure to have a piece when I feel hungry. And that's just the difference. Like, I just don't think about food in the way that I thought about food in the past. It just slows those things down. I feel less inflamed. I have heard that that can be a benefit of being on a GLP-1 is less inflammation. My migraines have gone away almost completely, which I was on monthly migraines before getting pregnant. Every time my period rolled around, I was on medication for that. I can't tell you the last time that I even went and picked up that medication. Like I have some in the drawer in case I need it, but what a blessing to not have migraines the way that I used to. So as far as food, I always try and start my day with protein. That is what my doctor said. She goes, the first thing that goes in your mouth in the morning needs to be protein in order to not lose your muscle mass and to be able to lose weight without like, just deteriorating your body, I guess. So I always start my day almost every day with some sort of protein. Protein shake is my go-to favorite thing. Some eggs, some sort of protein pancakes or waffles, all great options, but I do try and get some protein in first thing in the day. I try and always get some protein and vegetables at lunch. I'm not perfect about it, but I do tend to eat some carbs at lunch as well earlier in the day. And then at dinner time, I just make dinner like normal. I've always made it for the whole family. And then it just depends on how hungry I am at that point in the day, how much of the carbs I eat. Often I will just focus on the protein and vegetables again, and then just have a small portion of whatever carb is at dinner. So if that's potatoes or noodles or rice, I don't feel like I need as much of those kind of things anymore, but I do still like a little bit of them. I was having a conversation with my husband and he said it has amazed him that he doesn't feel like my eating has changed that much because I still have all our meals with our family. In the past, I would be having, my separate meal over on the side. I don't do that at all anymore, other than breakfast. If the kids are having just regular pancakes and breakfast sandwiches or breakfast burritos, I often just want my protein shake just because that's what makes me feel full and good for the whole morning. But lunch and dinner time, I just try and, eat what feels good, what makes me feel full, what makes me feel like I have the energy for the day. That is what I go with, but I don't have any sort of, meal plan. I do try and add in some cottage cheese. I eat a lot of like smoked salmon and cheese sticks. I've been making like chicken salad. In the past, I probably would have had it with like a croissant or something, but really it just tastes better to me just to eat just a bowl of chicken salad with some sort of veggies or a fruit. Fruit has become my treat of choice a lot of the time. So I don't know, it is so personal what you end up eating, but I have heard from people that say that they tried to go on weight loss injections and then they didn't eat healthy. And so one, they felt sick all the time and it just didn't work for them. So I've always been a pretty healthy eater. I just was eating too much and then I was overindulging in the sweets area is what I think my main problem is, because I have cut way back on those things and I have seen really good results. But it's more, I just like don't even think about it. That is the amazing thing for me. My weight and my thoughts about food and losing weight consume like this much of my thoughts now. Other than like, oh man, I need to like get some clothes that fit me. That's probably been one of my biggest stressors, which I never expected. But I'll talk about that in a second. I think I used to think about it like this much every day, like, I gotta weigh myself, I gotta eat. Now I just like live my life and I feel so healthy. I feel so energetic and I give very little thought to it, which is a huge blessing to be able to have my time be spent on much more fun and exciting things like my family and adventures and, building a business and things like that. So I eat, I do exercise, I try and do a lot of walking, and my goal is to lift weights 3 times a week, going back and forth between legs and arms, legs, arms, legs, arms. No like really high intensity cardio. I just like to walk, whether that's around the neighborhood, wearing a weighted vest, or on a treadmill at the gym. I do really love the Ladder app for doing workouts. I find their 30-minute weight workouts that, like I said, alternate between your legs and your arms to just be a perfect way to challenge my body. And now that I am down near the weight that I want to be, that is really where I want to focus, is on building up my muscle and just being really happy and healthy and fit so that I have the energy to keep up with my family. And I have noticed a huge increase in my energy, which is a huge blessing, because keeping up with 5 kids, if you saw our video from recently, we are homeschooling, like there's stuff going on all the time. And I'm just grateful that I am able to keep up with everybody, able to go on bike rides, able to take walks and just be with the family. I did all those things when I was overweight, but I do know that I was much more tired and I was much more just like uncomfortable in my body. And there were things that I wasn't doing because of my weight that I probably wasn't really aware of, like putting on fishing waders while I was that big was like torture. Getting in Mark's airplane, because it's all weight based, always felt like, ooh, I weigh too much. It's going to be hard for him to take off. Really, like, that's kind of sad that I was holding myself back from those type of activities because of my weight and just being uncomfortable. So those are some of the added benefits of losing some weight. So am I at my goal weight? That was asked multiple times. Something in me wants to lose 100 pounds. Just to say that I have before I start weaning myself back down to a lower dose. At the weight that I am at, 5'5" and 145 pounds, I am just barely no longer considered obese. And I know that BMI doesn't really matter that much, but I feel like I could still lose some weight. Like, I am in a size 12, 14 pants. That doesn't feel super skinny to me. I do get a lot of comments like recently on videos like, wow, you've lost so much weight. And I have lost a lot of weight. I know that I have, and I feel really good where I'm at. But I think people make those comments when I am wearing new clothes that actually fit me, because I honestly haven't lost any weight in the past probably month and a half, 2 months. I've been sitting right at 145, bouncing up to 148 and back. But I have finally started finding some clothes, thrifting, and going to a few stores. I really have struggled getting new clothes for myself. I think back in 2020 or 2019 when I lost all that weight, I bought a bunch of clothes, and then the pandemic happened and I put weight back on when I started eating normal again. Probably had a lot to do with the pandemic, and I never even got to wear those clothes, and they just sat in the back of my closet. So I pulled a few of those out, but I've really struggled with like getting myself to go out and buy some new clothes. I've had the most fun thrifting some new clothes. So most of the shirts you see me wearing that actually fit me have been thrifted, which I don't know, maybe it's just like the thrill of the hunt. I did finally buy like 3 new shirts at Nordstrom Rack the other day. I dropped my kids off for testing. They had to go to the homeschool building to get some testing. So I was like, what do I do for 2 hours? So I went to Nordstrom Rack and found a few tops that was like, oh, okay, I could find something that actually fits me. So anyways, I have struggled to buy new clothes, but when I do wear clothes that fit me, then people are like, all of a sudden like, whoa. I do still have a lot of my extra large clothing, sweatshirts and things that I continue to wear just because I feel comfortable in them, and I haven't found anything to replace them yet. But then when I wear the things that I have found that are now a size medium, it's like, oh, then you notice how much weight I've lost. So that is just my observation, that when I wear things that fit my body well now, it shows more my weight loss. I am probably around the size that I was when we got married, which is kind of fun. I know that I was in like a 10, 12 pant back then. I don't know what I weighed. I don't remember what I weighed when we got married, but I do know that my original wedding ring still does not fit, but it really just doesn't fit over my knuckle. So I need to get that resized because I'm so close to being able to wear my original wedding ring again. The ring that I wear, I just bought at Sam's Club for $100 when I was pregnant with Weston or Everett. It is just a white topaz, and I have taken it off for the night, but that is not my original wedding ring. So that is one of my non-scale victories. I'm looking forward to wearing my ring again, but I do think that I'm going to get resized regardless, because I don't plan on losing much more weight than I'm at right now. And I just don't think it's going to fit comfortably, even if I did lose some more weight, because I feel like your body just changes. I've had 6 children. Your body just doesn't go back to what it was before. So like I said, I'm probably about the same as I was when we got married, but my body is very different than when I got married. I never really had an actual goal weight when I started this weight loss journey. Every time that I had lost weight in the past, getting down to about 170, 175 was about all that I could get to on whatever plan I was on. So in my mind, if I got down to 175, I thought that that would be amazing. And I reached that goal, and it just felt like my body was ready to do more. So I was just really grateful that I could continue to go. I know that I am very close to what I want to be at when I start tapering down on the medicine. I don't feel like going cold turkey and stopping the medicine is the right thing for me to do personally. I think I worked my way up to this. I'm going to hit whatever weight feels good, and then I am going to slowly go down and microdose, which means instead of taking a shot every week, I will spread my shots out probably to at least every 14 days, and then I will slowly work my way back down to a maintenance dose, and then we'll see where we're at when I get there, how I'm feeling. I don't have an all or nothing mentality. I just want to listen to my body and see what works. At this point, I know it would be really, really hard to go back to having the food noise, and I'm hopeful that a smaller dose can still give me those added benefits of no migraines, no food noise, or lower food noise, and that the changes that I have made while on the higher doses will continue to fuel me through, that I will remember what it feels like to eat those portion sizes and to follow those hunger cues and not continue to eat just because the food's there, or because I'm tired, or because I'm bored, or because I'm stressed, that I have other ways to deal with those feelings and I can use those instead of using food, is my hope. Another question I got multiple times is, have I been checked for hypothyroidism? And the answer is yes. When I first started this YouTube channel, that question came up quite a bit, and I was a little taken back, like, ooh, why does people keep commenting on my thyroid? I remember years ago when being pregnant, one of the doctors was like, your thyroid seems a little bit enlarged. Have you ever had it checked? I said no. So they did some blood work, came back, everything was fine. Before I got pregnant with the twins, I finally decided to get a doctor that wasn't an OBGYN. There's about 7.5 years between our youngest son, Everett, and the twins. So in that period of 7 years, I finally went and found a doctor. And so when I went and saw my doctor, she did the full blood work panel, and she said, yeah, it does seem a little bit enlarged. Maybe it's just what they call like a goiter. And we did the blood work, but then we also went and I had an ultrasound to make sure everything was fine. And everything came back great. And then I think we did it again a year later. Then I got pregnant and they said, don't come in for an ultrasound while you're pregnant because it'll probably be a little bit enlarged anyways. But after having the babies and then going to visit her for my blood work and stuff to start my health journey, we again did the blood work, had an ultrasound, and nothing has changed. I just have a slightly enlarged thyroid. Now, I appreciate the comments. I know that the people commenting have typically been through something or have a family member that has had hypothyroidism or had problems with their thyroid. I am keeping an eye on it. I talk to my doctor about it regularly. I have a family member who just went through thyroid cancer. I know it's serious and not something to just brush under the rug. So yes, I do get myself checked for it. Thankfully, at this point in time, nothing is the matter, but I will continue to have that checked moving forward just to make sure that everything is okay. A question that's often asked about being on a GLP-1 medication is, did you experience hair loss? And I have never had great hair. As an adult, especially, my hair has always been very fine and very thin. So I don't know if I have lost an increased amount of hair because of all of this weight loss. My hair wasn't great to begin with. I did see quite a bit of hair loss postpartum, which is very normal, but I never felt like once I started losing weight that it got any worse. I still get, my hair falls out a little bit in the shower. I am on some like hair oils called Divi. I try and use shampoos that are full of good things and don't have all the like phosphates and sulfates and all those things, don't have those in them. I try and treat my hair really well. I try and only wash it twice a week, but I've just never had great hair. So I did discuss it with my doctor the last time that I went in, and she said that I do have a little bit of an elevated hormone that can cause hair loss and also cause, some hair on your face and things like that, which I do struggle with a little bit, unfortunately. She did say that she could put me on a medicine that could potentially help with that. So I'm debating and doing a little bit more research on whether or not I want to be on another medication that would potentially help me not continue to thin, but adding a bunch of medications gives me a little bit of pause. I like to make sure it's the right thing. So I am grateful that I have not seen a significant amount of hair loss when losing weight, but my hair is not great. And I see that when I do videos, when I like put my head down, because in the mirror, I think my hair looks fine. And then I'll see it from the top or the back in a video and I'm like, is that really what my hair looked like? It's a little bit embarrassing. But I don't know. I've just tried to do my best to take care of my hair and work with what I've got. thin hair just runs in my family. My older sister has very thin hair. My mom's hair is not thick. So it's just kind of one of the cards that I've been dealt in life, is to not have beautiful, thick, voluminous hair. I just do my best to take care of what I have. So we are coming to the end of September, which means that I've been on this weight loss journey for over a year now. Started in August of last year, dosed up a few times. I feel like my body is telling me we're pretty close to where we want to be. I'm feeling good. I've got the energy that I want. I feel like I'm making really good food choices and living a healthy lifestyle, and I am really, really grateful. I'm grateful for the mental clarity that I've had while I've lost weight. I really do focus on trying to get a lot of water in. I do drink electrolytes just because it tastes better than just regular water, so that I can get more water in the day. So yeah, there's the update on my weight loss and health journey. And just remember, losing weight is such a personal thing. What works for me is not necessarily going to work for everybody else. Consult a doctor, figure out what works for you. I feel so happy for people that have found ways to lose weight without medicine, but I also know that it can be really helpful to people that have tried lots of things to know kind of some of the ins and outs of somebody that has lost weight on the medicine in just a more honest and positive light. So I hope that that helps you if you are somebody who had questions or wanted to kind of have a chat with somebody that has been on a weight loss medication, because it is kind of a taboo topic. And I talk to a few people in my regular life about it, but I don't bring it up unless they want to know or have questions. But I am very honest. Whenever anybody says, how have you lost weight? Are you on keto? Are you doing this? I say, well, it's a combination of being on a GLP-1 medication, eating well, exercise. There's no magic pill. Anyways, thank you so much for spending time with me today. We are so grateful for each and every one of you that spends time with us here on the channel. If you have questions about our life here in Alaska, leave those down in the comments below. I plan on doing more of these chatting videos throughout the winter months when we have a little bit more time at home, grabbing a blanket, cozying up, and chatting like I'm chatting with a friend. So if you have a question that you would like answered, I will add it to my list. I had over 200 questions asked. So I have them here grouped by topic so that I can answer them in subsequent videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon for more of This Alaska Life.